What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson. Thanks for stopping by today. Today we have a very interesting topic to discuss. Marvel Studios lately, really before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, had been getting a lot of flack recently. Phase 4 started off strong with WandaVision, Loki, and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Plus, not to mention Shang-Chi and other strong Marvel movies, but since then, many fans have been stating that the quality of Marvel Studios has gone down since the launch of Phase 4 and Disney+. Now, what's interesting about this is that Marvel, in a way, has sort of acknowledged this. In recent events that have taken place, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, who got brought back into Disney after he retired to essentially fix some things that were going on, has stated publicly that they are going to focus on producing less content, but start to worry about producing better quality content. And Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, said the same thing. And it looks like we might have found what the problem was with Marvel Studios, also Lucasfilm apparently as well, as some writers who used to write and work with Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm have come out and spoken up about what exactly they went through and what exactly the recent process has been. And this was done in kind of an expose piece by Maureen Ryan from Vanity Fair, her expose titled Burn It Down. And this gives us a little bit of a look behind the curtain of Marvel Studios, hearing from her sources, which are, as I mentioned, some veteran writers who have met and taken meetings with Marvel Studios. And thanks to what some of these writers have told us, we have learned what is, or what was, kind of happening at Marvel Studios that may have caused that lack of quality and cohesiveness with Marvel Studios movies and shows. Now, this video isn't an expose video. We're not trying to expose Marvel Studios for anything bad. We are simply going to talk about the process that happens in the writer's room and how it's actually getting better, and Marvel Studios and Disney are taking steps to actually improve the quality of content that they put out and really just kind of lift the MCU in general to a better quality. And go ahead and let us know right now what you thought about Phase 5 in the comments down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you in the middle? What are your thoughts? Also, Phase 5 as well. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, like I mentioned, this piece goes into the writer's room over at Marvel Studios, particularly talking about the Disney Plus shows. And keep in mind, this was kind of a new process for Marvel Studios. Disney Plus gave them the opportunity, but also the pressure of producing shows for the MCU now. So they had to get a writing team together, and it had to operate kind of in a different way because they were used to writing movies and not TV shows. And so what had happened, according to multiple TV veterans and sources of Maureen Ryan's, they had said that there was a big lack of autonomy with Marvel Studios, meaning that the writers didn't actually have the full writing control over the project that they were working on. And they stated that many times the actual showrunner or showrunners for the show were instead labeled as the head writer of the show, and then Marvel Studios executives were listed as executive producers. This isn't really anything bad, but according to a TV veteran who is referred to as Steve, not putting the actual real name of the writer out there, according to Steve, Marvel executives are often in the writer's room. And according to another writer that goes by the name of Emma, again, not the real name, but they're trying to remain anonymous, according to Emma, Lucasfilm is pretty much the same way. And this is kind of where the problem starts. Writers who are in charge of writing the actual show aren't really in charge. It seems like these executives from Disney and Marvel were in the room to basically make sure that the story goes a particular direction. One of these insiders stated that they do have writing teams that are helmed by a head writer, but they are still ultimately overseen by a Marvel executive almost all the time. And according to this expose, it states that some of the people that are put in charge ultimately lack experience. And due to the sheer volume of Marvel Studios Disney Plus projects that they were releasing, they state that there's just too much to juggle and not enough time to learn for these executives. And I would also imagine for the writers as well, if they are being told that they do need to fit a certain story within kind of another story to make it connect. And here's where it actually gets pretty interesting, because it doesn't sound like it's Kevin Feige sitting there in the rooms, because some insiders say that it wasn't always like this, and Kevin Feige was actually the one before who would essentially go around and make everything kind of better. They state that Kevin Feige used to go around and be the problem solver on the movies, and that is specifically talking about movies. They go on to say that Now, there is simply too much happening with Marvel Studios everywhere for Kevin Feige to do that, which is why everything is wildly uneven, as they put it. And this no doubt is due to the pure volume of Disney Plus projects that Marvel Studios is being put out. And at the end of this, they basically stated that, and I quote here, "The head writers are not running any show. They have no real power." So what is seemingly happening here is they have Marvel executives that aren't exactly the most experienced people in the world in the writer's room, sometimes going against what the writers are actually creating, or maybe having them do something that wasn't really intended to be in the story. But the real question is, has this changed? Has it been fixed over at Marvel Studios? And the answer is seemingly yes, or it is at least in the process of being fixed. And it all comes back down to Kevin Feige and Bob Iger stating that they are indeed going to kind of slow down producing these Disney Plus shows. And no doubt this is one of the reasons that they are reducing the content output for Disney Plus. They need better quality control, they need better cohesiveness between them and the writing teams. Kevin Feige couldn't run around and put out all the fires before and keep the peace, but if they cut back a little bit on the Disney Plus shows, he certainly can do that. That and having Bob Iger on board with producing less content and not kind of pressuring Marvel Studios to actually keep pumping out these Disney Plus shows to make more money and get more subscribers is really nice, and is part of what is going to actually help and fix this problem. And we gotta give Marvel Studios a little bit of slack here because this was brand new for them. They only did movies up to Phase 4. When Phase 4 came, it was an entire new boat. It was completely new and they had to do something they've never done before. Before, Kevin Feige was able to let the writing team write a film and him come in every now and then and include his opinion on it. Or say, hey, something needs to go a specific way, how can we make that happen? But it seems like with the Disney Plus shows, since there were so many happening at one time, so many going in development at once, he had to assign other people to do that. And of course, nobody is going to have the knowledge and the passion and the dedication that Kevin Feige has. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a pretty good example. Kevin Feige basically let James Gunn write. He sat there sometimes and had his opinions with James Gunn, like he told James Gunn, "You don't want to be known for the first guy to drop an F-bomb in a Marvel movie, do you?" In which James Gunn said, "No, yeah, I absolutely do." And Kevin Feige let him do it. So Kevin Feige was there, he was helping oversee the script writing and the story, but ultimately let the writing happen because he trusted James Gunn. Now with the Disney Plus shows, a lot of new writers are brought in. And if Kevin Feige isn't really meeting face to face with them one-on-one too often, then it might be kind of hard to sync up visions for how the story is supposed to play out in the MCU, how they envision it, and what Kevin Feige wants included in it. But now it seems like it's going to get a lot better. Secret Invasion is supposed to be a very great show, and everything else that we have coming up is supposed to be really good as well. Since Marvel Studios is going to cut back a little bit on producing those Disney Plus shows or spreading them further out, which Kevin Feige said they're going to do both, produce less, but also spread them out a little bit more. This gives him personally a lot more time to go and sit down with each writing team and kind of sync up and talk about the overall vision and quality of what is supposed to happen. This should make Marvel Studios' Disney Plus projects a lot better. So if you haven't been too happy with them, this should be giving you hope. And if you have been enjoying them, this is just even more exciting because they're going to get even better. And I just want to add, if you love the current Disney Plus shows that have been produced and put out there so far, that is super awesome. Don't let anybody else's opinion change that. But overall, great news for Marvel Studios. Their process looks to be getting a lot better. And hopefully we're about to get some pretty killer Disney Plus shows and of course, movies as well. SDCC is coming up in about a month. Hopefully we get some pretty cool reveals. In the meantime, let us know what you think about this video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe and leave a comment because that enters you in our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5 and Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, and some DC items as well. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and you can check out our Patreon account, our website, and our Discord server. We'll link those down below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.